Welcome to the Microsoft OneDrive Level 1 module. Level 1 is going to primarily focus on OneDrive cloud storage. In Level 2, we will then proceed with OneDrive on your laptop or computer and learn how to sync files between the two. The first thing that we will do is learn how to get to OneDrive online. You could simply pull up a Chrome web browser or a Microsoft Edge web browser, and then you're going to type in office.com. When you sign into office.com, if you haven't ever signed in before, it won't remember you. So you would actually just come up here and click sign in, and you're going to put the exact same information that you would if you were going to get into your email. So that would be your first initial, last name, and ssisd.net, and then you would set your password. Mine is already saved just because I've been on this computer before. If you get this message, just click Don't Show, and yes, so that now we are all set on this device. Okay, so now this is our Office 365 dashboard. From the dashboard, you have access to all the tools and everything that you have free with your Office 365 account. We're going to start with OneDrive. And for a moment, let's just talk about what OneDrive is. OneDrive is a cloud-based storage. It houses all of your documents, all of your files, and anything that you create or anything that someone else has shared with you. So this is going to be your storage hub. It will have all your Office 365 files that are associated with your account in this hub. We're going to start right here with the New button. If you click on New, or if you click on the drop-down menu, you can see that these are all your options of things that you can create in your OneDrive. By default, all of your folders will actually be stored at the top of your OneDrive. Anytime you want to create a new file, if you want it to automatically be stored in a folder, you could create the file and move it into the folder, or if you know in advance what folder you want that file to be stored in, then you're just going to go ahead and click on the folder. I'm going to name this folder Demo. If I want to create a new file in that folder, I'm just going to click into it and start a new document or whatever type of file that I want. Another thing that I'm going to show you is, let's say that I wanted to save a link. So I'm going to have a URL link saved to my clipboard, and then I can just from within the folder click link here, and it's going to give me a prompt that says basically what link would you like to save. I'm just going to paste it in. What happens now is within my folder I can have a bookmark or a URL link to a site that anyone then that has access to that folder or that goes into the folder can just click on the link and be taken directly to a website. So the next button is Upload. And you can see that if you click on the drop-down arrow, that you have basically two options. You can upload a file, which are individual files, or you could upload a folder. Of course, when I say upload, that's talking about bringing it up from your hard drive or from your computer or laptop. So I'm going to click Files, and I'm going to upload this PDF found in my downloads. I'm going to click Open, and as you can see, it has added that file. The next thing we're going to talk about is sharing. Sharing something is actually very vital to working in OneDrive online. It's kind of the benefit, or one of the benefits, to collaborating between members in a district or a team. So if I wanted to share one of these files individually with a person, I could actually click Share here, and it's going to say, how do you want to share this? So let's explore this a little bit. You do have more options right here. So if I click Manage Access, there's a secondary menu that pops up. If I click on the lowercase I, remember anytime you see a lowercase I, it stands for information. It says that this section shows all links that people may use. So right now, no one has access to this file except me. If I click Share, then I get the same pop-up if I had just clicked Shared here. So let's go ahead, and if I wanted to share it with an individual person, I can start typing that name and then select that person. And maybe I want to share it with several people. This is fine if you're going to share it with a few individuals. However, if I'm going to share it with a large group of people, if you don't have a contact group created, then this will get a little long. So if you had several people to share this with, you might just want to share the link. To do that, if you click right here, these are going to be your choices. You can decide who do you want this link to work for. Right now, it's so anyone with the link is selected. And I could share it with only people in the district that have the SSISD.net account. I can also select specific people. So that means I would just put their specific email or profile information in. But right now I'm going to leave it on anyone with the link. Okay, so this is pretty important. If you notice right here, when you allow sharing, by default, editing privileges are provided. So you can see that the little check is selected. If it's a PDF, that's not that important because they can't really change a PDF. However, if it's any other type of file like a Word document, a PowerPoint, an Excel, anything like that, then you don't want someone having the access to edit your document. So you would need to be sure and get in the habit of unchecking allow editing. So if I uncheck that, it's only going to give the people I'm sharing the link with viewing permissions. Also, there's another feature that, let's say I wanted to share something with people just throughout the summer or just for a short amount of time, then later the group changes or I need to revoke permissions. You can actually set an expiration date to end sharing permissions for whoever you're sharing it to. If I wanted to share this and double protect it with a password, so if I share it with people, they would click on the link and then they would have to know the password to access it. The last part is the block download. So by default, when you share this, if someone wants their own copy, they can certainly just go to it, file, make a copy, or they could download it as their own. If you don't want them to have the ability to do that, you could turn this on. So if you turn on block download, that means it prevents anyone else from creating their own copy of that file. Another way to share is to right-click on the file itself. Then share, you can see, is right here. However, if I just click copy link without going through all of the process that I showed you right before this, then I just wanted you to see what happens. So if I just click copy link, then look down here at the bottom, it shows that anyone with the link can edit. That's a problem only if you don't want them to edit. So just be very careful about just clicking copy link, because by default they have editing privileges. If you want to change that, you can go in and click share, and remember, you're going to go right here and deselect allow editing and apply. Now you can copy the link, and as you can see right down here, anyone with the link can only view this file now. It's really important because we get into a lot of trouble sometimes when we're just copying the link and it by default is the editable link. Now I want you to notice the ribbon. If I select one of my files, the ribbon all of a sudden changes, so I have more options. If I just click download, what happens is it assumes that I want everything in this folder to be downloaded, which is okay. But just know that if it's more than one file, it will be downloaded as a zip file. Okay, so let's say that I want to download this file, and download, remember, means that you're going to pull down the files or folders to your laptop or computer. So if I select this single file, go up and click download, down at the bottom, you can see it is not a zipped file. The reason for this is because it's only one file, and that automatically goes to your download folder unless you have changed the default downloads. Let's look at some ways that you can view your files within your OneDrive. I'm going to go back to the outermost layer of my OneDrive so you can see that these are all my folders. Some people do not prefer to have their folders showing like this. They prefer to have a list. So I'm actually going to go to the view options, and whenever I click here, you can see I've got 3 options. And I'm going to show you right quick what list looks like. So here's all of my files. So now if I wanted to change this view to compact list, it's pretty much the same. It's just kind of squished together, a little closer. Now my personal favorite is the tile view. Some people hate tiles, but I did want to show you that this is your option. And the tiles still show the folders floating at the top and all of your files under the folders. One of the reasons I like files is because it gives me a little short preview or a quick view of what the file is. And that quick preview offers me a peek at what it looks like. Okay, so let's look at the sort option. The first way that I can sort is if I want to sort by type. This basically just allows all of the same type of files to be grouped together. I can even put this into list view and it makes it a little easier for you to see. So that's sorting by types of files. If I wanted to sort by name, of course the folders are still first. That once I get into my files, it's in ABC order. So you can see these file types are mixed up, but it's sorted alphabetically by the name of the file. Okay, you can do the same thing with the date. Here I have switched the order from older to newer or newer to older. And you can filter by, so let's say that I wanted to find only the ones that were on March. So I could actually select all of these from March or maybe from these days in March, and I can apply that. And now you can see that these are the only files and folders that were from that day or that time period. That pretty much covers the sorting function. And remember, you can sort over here or you can sort across the top. The next thing we're going to talk about is over here on the side. I want you to see what your choices are. By default, when you click on My Files, this is going to be all of your folders and files. And if I go to Recent,
these are all the things that I've worked on this week and last week. If you click Show All, it will expand and show you even more of your recent files. After Recent, you can see we have Shared. These are all the folders and files that have been shared with me or that I've shared with others. So right here I can see that John had this 2020 Summer School Clever file and he modified it 8 days ago. So this just shows you who's sharing things with you and how long ago they were shared. Also, if I click right here, Shared by You, these are going to be all the files and folders that I have shared with others. If you look at the top, you see a section that's called Popular Around Me, which is simply just what people are working on in files that have previously been shared with you. So let's look at the recycle bin. The recycle bin contains things that you've deleted from your OneDrive. Those files will go into the recycle bin, so if you can get to it before 30 days, I can still go back and restore it by selecting the file and clicking Restore. It will go back to its original location in your OneDrive. If you have things listed over here, I just wanted you to understand the reason you can get to these things is because they're all shared in a large storage area called SharePoint. SharePoint creates a URL, and that allows me to be able to go to the link without being in that team. So I'm in this team, and there are all the files that are shared through the team. I could click on any of those files and get to the same file that I could if I were actually in Teams. Search is another option available in OneDrive. You have this search bar up at the top, so if you need to retrieve a file or a folder and you can't remember the name of the file or folder, you can come up here and search. Let's say you can't remember where you stored it, so maybe I have a file named Daily 5 and I can't remember what folder that I put it in, so I can just go up here and search for the term Daily 5 and it will show me everything that has something to do with that term. From there, I can use filters or the sort features to narrow it down even further to find the exact file that I wanted. Now I want to draw your attention over to the waffle. If you click the waffle, it gives you access to all of your Office 365 apps. It's important that you know where the waffle is to allow you to jump between all of your tools that you have access to. Another feature that's handy in OneDrive is the question mark. This is where you can get help with OneDrive. If I click Help and pull this up, it's just asking me what you would like to have help with. Let's say that I need to know how to share a file. I've forgotten how to do that. So if I just click Share File and search, it's going to return all of these options and suggestions on things that you might need help with. Not only does it have an excellent explanation in text, but it also has video options. So you can see how handy this would be for you to have help right there when you need it. One of the other things I want you to notice is the lowercase I. The lowercase I is simply an information button. So just remember that stands for information. If I select a particular folder or file, and then the information button or the lowercase I. So it's showing you the full name of the file or folder. It's letting me know who has access to it. So I just wanted you to know anytime you see the lowercase I, it's called the details pane, but I think about I for information. So that's a pretty good overview of what you might need to know about OneDrive. I've hopefully exposed you to all of the options inside OneDrive and how you can work with all of them. When we get to level 2, we'll be talking about how File Explorer also works seamlessly with the OneDrive app to sync your files that are on your computer or laptop with your OneDrive. So stay tuned for level 2. Thank you, and I hope you found this video helpful.